It's that time again for another Elden Ring stream with the number one streamer of the lands between.
The one, the only
Golden
Inquisitor.
So grab the one you love or just the one for the moment. Hold them close, cuddle underneath the blanket, but don't let anybody see what you're really doing.
Oh my.
And prepared to go on a journey starting now.
Welcome back, everybody, to the stream. It's Tuesday night. That means it's lore night. Excuse me. And we're gonna be going through Elden Ring, discussing the lore. But first, some shout outs to everybody that's in the show description. If you like Elden Ring lore, if you like discussing Elden Ring, check out those content creators because they are amazing. Cream of the crop. You know what I mean? And if you want to continue any conversations about Elden Ring with anybody or with me, go and join the Discord. The Discord is a great place. Yeah, it's an awesome place. So there you go. So let's get in game and get ready to play some Elden Ring. All right. Oh, hey everybody. Hi Tuluki. Hey Meta. I see you again. Hey Godwin. How you doing? Oh, do you like that intro? Thank you. I worked hard on it, you know. I went back in time to the 1930s to record that. You know, I got Mikla to take me back in time. So, yeah. All right, so here we go. Who shall we play today? This is the one thing I struggle with, right? Who to level, who not to level. But you know what? Let's just keep going. Let's keep going. I think on my main character, I got to the Abyssal Woods last night. It's wholesome as fuck, you said. The intro. It is. Uh-oh. There's already another seamless co-op update. Jesus, man. Too many. Maybe they fixed that, they fixed the button that doesn't work most of the time. Well, at least we won't have to worry about invaders. Well, that sucks. I like invasions. All right, I know we've been here at least 3 or 4 times since I've been streaming. And I know people in the future, if you're watching this, you're probably tired of the Abyssal Woods. But there's too much lore that goes undiscovered, untapped in the Abyssal Woods. What is that lore? You're probably wondering. I have no idea. It's out there. But we'll find it. Or we'll make it up. Either one. It's a good stuff, right? A grace? Oh, wait. Here's something. Let me take a screenshot of this. Because we have to... I believe all of these different languages are... or written languages are essential to knowing somewhat of a timeline of what is going on and when things happened, right? Because writing changes over the centuries, over the centuries, right? Because if I don't think I can use any of the figures on Seamless. Dang. Yeah, I can't. Dang. Oh well. Welcome back, Freeman. I'm glad you're catching the stream too, man. Thank you. If you may or may not hear the washer in the background, I did have to wash some laundry, so we'll see. So the Abyssal Woods is a fantastic place, and I may have said this before because it is essentially dripping with frenzy. As everybody that's been here, everybody that's explored it, you see it everywhere. It's infected everything. And you know how I think. I think everything's some type of infection or a parasite And I believe frenzy, in its essence that it is, wherever it comes from, is infecting, does not only just infect the mind, right? Or a person, the spirit of a person, but it's also infecting reality itself, right? I think that's what we see here. And especially when we go and we see it in the water. With the water, the spirits, because what is the mind? It's not something that's something spiritual. It's not something tangible. It is simply, I guess you could say, a construct of the brain, right? It's electricity. It's just static electricity. You know, your dendrites in your brain are just snapping, going off, and that represents your mind. That's what your mind is, right? So frenzy is infecting atoms and molecules and electricity and all those things, like protons and neutrons, perhaps. But that may be looking too deep. And you know me, don't go too deep, but don't go too shallow, right? But, well, let's kill this guy first. Oh, where is my HUD? Oh, God. Don't need no HUD. Well, I might. Oh, he killed me. I need the HUD. I'm not a level 1 rune runner. I'm not that good. I depend on tricks and subterfuge because I'm an assassin. All right, let's see. Let me turn on the HUD. No, I don't. No, not all the way. Oh, no. Whoa. Auto. There we go. All right, let's do this again. Wait, what am I wearing? We'll get rid of that. Let's get golden so he knows who killed him, right? Nope, this one. I'm not gonna pick those up. That's a shameful death. You gotta let the past go. Wait, this thing doesn't. Oh shit. It doesn't do bleed damage, does it? No, I don't think it does. Okay. All right. So we're not gonna use that lightning. We're just gonna use. Let me just get base with him, I guess. And then we can go on back to the lore discussion. I'm gonna this guy. All right, where's my spells? There we go. Wait. Really? Oh yeah, that's right. Because the R1 wasn't working, or L1. All right, so everybody, just close your eyes on this one because it's gonna get messy. Oh. And I forget that it's new game +4, so. Oh, God. Wow. Okay. Okie dokie. Wow. I'm glad nobody's watching because this is, wow. All right. Let me switch this. We got. I can't believe I'm getting sidetracked. Like, so right off the bat, this guy, the Maddening Hand. Something died. I wonder if they fell off a cliff. All right. All right. We'll keep the same technique until he dodges, right? Oh my god, okay. Can't reach me up here. We're just gonna do it again. Let's be cheap about it. Alright, now that he's dead, let us get back to the lore here. And this guy, yeah, sure, he's got some stuff. Let's see. Alright, a glove. I can't even talk. This is the coffee. A glove stitched together from the flayed skin of the victims of a butcher's bloodbath. Afflicts targets with madness. Raises attack power when madness is triggered in the vicinity. Forged of unyielding black impulse towards revenge, fostered in those who were hunted down as heretics by their own brethren. These are the weapons of the utterly downtrodden. Ah, yes, you got to endure. Yes, Tuliki, you got to endure to the end. Welcome back, Zinad. This is quite interesting. So who made this? Did this guy make this hand, or was it made at another time? So he went around and if you think that the Maddening Hand picked it up and made it, I mean, I don't know about that. He may have gone and picked up the flayed skin of his friends and put it together. I mean, it's kind of interesting. That's one of those horror aspects of the game that I enjoy. Oh, Jesus. I forgot about those guys. All right, nobody... yes. Let me get my shield out. I have a special shield. Oh, no, I don't have it on me. Okay, we need to go to the Grace. Man, the creatures are so tough. Right. So tough. Get back, winch. I told you. All right, anyways. Radagon and Mikla both use needles. Interesting. So the implications of that statement, Tuliki. Do you... So perhaps Miklo or Radagon may have sewn that together, or perhaps that the Maddening Hand was a practitioner of the sewing arts, upholstery. I don't know, what is the sewing arts called? A seamstress? Oh, was that Bach's father? Callistrol, welcome back. And Midra's flesh is stitched as well. It is. Tuliki. Interesting. Let's see. Freeman says, the eyes in the hand are from the headless men outside the manor. Oh. You know what? You might be right about that. I will adopt that into my theorizing, because why not? Why else would there be eyes there? I mean, it's not growing eyes. It's not like Deathroot. You know what I mean? Unless there is a connection with that. But no, it's sewn together, stitched together from the flayed skins. So it's all facial skin, right? Pretty much. That's kind of gross. Oh, it's called a seamster. Oh, thank you, Zanad. The hand is crazy, says Boss. Welcome back, Boss. Hold on, let me get my shield. This is gonna get rough and probably real boring if I can't beat these guys in the first shot. Let's see. I'm not the parry king, as many suspect. I never use a shield. Let's see. The buckler. We'll use that. Why not? Not God. Pan's Labyrinth. I've never seen Pan's Labyrinth, Calistral says. I have. He had the little hands, he had the eyes in his palms, which was disgusting. It was a disturbing show, and it was really sad too. The ending was quite tragic. Let's see. We need something with good crit damage. Nice. You know what? We'll do that. We'll do that one. We'll do that one. All right, let's practice. Oh wait, you know what? You know what else? You know what else? I need to. What is it that? What is the resistance for? Is it immunity? No, that's poisons and rot, blood and frostbite, madness, focus. Focus. Oh wait. And we will do this one. All right. Now we'll just go sit down. Parry on the wand being raised. Okay. Thank you, Too Leaky. Zanad says, I have to be honest, this area is where I feel the lore lost me, especially with the hidden environment clues that we literally can't see. Maybe. I can understand that point of view, Zanad. Because at a first glance, it looks like it's very just empty space and stuff like that. But I believe it's telling a lot more than what we think, right? You know, Torrent doesn't want to come out because the frenzy flame kills spirits. But then again, there's animals living with it. So there's a discrepancy there, right? That and it's also in the water, right? So there's a lot of things that we have to reconcile, and some things you may have to ignore it for your own headcanons. But I believe that the idea that the frenzy flame kills and melts away spirits is a myth or a rumor or a right out lie, right? And I think the frenzy flame ending tells us that if we look at it critically. Godwin says, all the madness areas are designed to drive you insane. This is true. Boss says, I can put my finger on the answer, but maybe 3 will do. Good job, boss. So clever. No, it doesn't kill spirits. That's the lie. Spirits can be killed by frenzy flame, but it doesn't inherently kill them like things do, right? It's like a sickness. The spirit can be infected as well. Right, but it doesn't. It's not like it's not as threatening as it seems, or whatever. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Because you can kill a spirit with a sword, with gold, especially like what's this, sacred blade and stuff. You can kill spirits, right? That's how you kill those who live in death. But it's like the same thing for the frenzy flame, because at the end. Because at the end of the frenzy flame, oh god, this thing's gonna kill me because I'm talking. At the end of the frenzy flame ending, who do we see alive? Melina. If you're thinking Melina, then yes. And what is Melina? A spirit. And if the frenzy flame is gonna melt the entire world and kill all the spirits, then why is she not dead? Sure, Torrent dies. Of course he does. But Melina's a spirit too, and she's still alive. And not only is she still alive, but she's also going to come kill you. So she doesn't fear the frenzy flame. So it's saying that the frenzy flame instantly kills spirits is the lie. It has to be actively. You got to actively use the flame to kill something. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if that makes sense. You know, it's kind of like golden hunter spells, right? Not all sacred spells kill spirits. It has to be used in a certain way to kill a spirit. And the frenzy flame is rumored and believed, and the rumor and the lie is propagated into thinking that it kills everything instantly. But it doesn't. It wouldn't matter if she was a demigod. A spirit is a spirit. That's a. I think that's too easy of an out meta to say that. Oh, it's because she's part demigod or something like that. No, that doesn't work. If Torrent dies, right? These creatures should be dead. Anything we die, right? And if you believe we're not Godwin, we're also part demigod too, right? So it's there is a discrepancy, and I believe there's the myth versus the fiction of what is. And I think a lot of people dismiss that because they're like enamored with Melina, or they're, you know, just refusing to see what's there. And it's just right in your face, in my opinion. Meta says, it may not kill it, but it's like a black hole for spirit energy. You're not coming back from it. Maybe. I mean, I don't know about no black holes, and I've never heard about the concept of a black hole or sucking energies in. Doesn't tell me that's Frenzy Flame. That tells me that's Ronnie's ending. Zanat says, also, it's not consistent with living people or people using vessels. Our spirits would die on contact, but spirits like Shibiri and Hayeta would die with contact and infection by frenzy. Good point. Good point, Zanad. I'm glad you brought that up, because, you know, I missed that. I wasn't thinking about Shibiri or Hayeta as well. So another case to prove that the frenzy flame doesn't outright kill spirits. It's a lie being spread by Shibiri himself, probably, because we know he's an agent of chaos, right? It's the yellow chaos flame. Toliki says, I can't stay, but I think Goldneck stumps on the sacrificed people outside the manse look like sprouted garlic, like a plant growing, not like their spines. Interesting. Well, when I get there, I'll discuss it. I think that's an interesting idea. Let's see. Freeman says, does the abyssal eye, the name of the woods, connect to Mesmer Snake? The abyssal snake, the abyssal woods. You know, perhaps, Freeman. Perhaps it only connection, it would be the theme, right? That it's a place of darkness, that it's not meant for the living, or for the holy or the sacred or the, for good people. Calistral says, could it be that either the frenzied flame or another force is so strong that Torrent is unable to come out, like someone wedged the chair against a door? I don't know. You would have to ask Meta that. In my opinion, in the ending of the frenzied flame, we see the ring that you use to summon Torrent dissolve, right? And supposedly you hear Torrent cry out. Is Torrent the ring? Maybe not. Maybe Torrent isn't crying out because he's burnt away, or she's burnt away. Because he's burnt away. It's because he's now crying out because he's now free. He's no longer tethered to the ring, kind of like a horse when it breaks free from the corral or whatever. They neigh, or whatever. What's it called? They neigh, and they run off. Like in a movie, and they take off because it's free. It's no longer bound to the ring. But that's if you want to look at it that way. Meta says, okay, theory. Her gray eye in the end is her new frenzy eye, and she sealed it so she can't live long enough to kill you. I mean, there's a lot of gymnastics there, Meta, but it's a good idea. But I don't think so. I don't think that works, in my opinion. But it is a good idea, though. Because I believe that eye that she has is Gerank's eye or Malekith's eye. Because he's missing both eyes, right? And we have one. And where's the other one? In her possession. And she placed it in her... At one point, she replaced her eye and put that there. And since we have the Rune of Death, right? Which is, linked to Deathroot and death itself, we can no longer hide from Melina because she has Gerank's eye, which vibrates or whatever when it gets close to death or to the Rune of Death or anything death related, right? So she can find us by hunting us down that way. And that's how she's going to find us, by using Gerank's eye. Meta also says, I think because Torrent is basically all spirit, he's extremely susceptible. Wait, but so is Melina too. Okay, for the first part of your statement. Once he's tainted, it's like he's part of the Borg. He's part of the one unified fire of frenzy, and there's no division. I mean, I like that idea too. I mean, you're really touching on some good ideas. Because I like the Borg. Excuse me. All right, let's. Now that Tulugi's not here, I can fail. All right, here we go. Oh, damn it. All right. Got him. She was right. Man. Oop. Oh, shit. He still got me. Well, they're... Yeah. The Borg were 7 of 9. Why not both, Calistral? I've killed exactly 2 of them. Meta... I'm going to kill them all because they offend me. Their existence offend me. Let me get a better weapon. I need a weapon right here. Come on, what was I thinking? Zanod, hold on, before I continue this. Zanod says, Metafactual is talking about the loss of identity, which is what the lore is telling us about Frenzy. That came from Division. It's the Sephiroth of the Kalabatha. But correct. Man, I don't know about all that, man. I don't know about it's. There's nothing that says that it's the division of identity, right? There's nothing that says anything that insinuates, implies, implicates such an idea. So I think when you're reading that into that, you're reading into it, really. the division is the creation of multiple life forms. A single-celled organism replicating. Cell division over and over and over. I think that's what, in my opinion, what the theory of the frenzy flame is really about. Damn. I did too slow. Freeman says, maybe Melina was created only to stop the frenzy flame. She was the kindling mating of Destined Death's flame made from Glowmite Queens. Well, there's no... Okay, I see what you're saying, Freeman, but there's no connection between the frenzy flame and Destined Death's flame and Black Flame or whatever it's called. I once again, I think if you're... As a theory, you could make something out of that, and it would sound good. But in my opinion, there is no connection either. I think you'd have to read too much and do a lot of gymnastics to make that work. Yeah. Oh shit. Cayman's coming out with the whatchamacallit pointers. I got to parry them in order to parry them. Dang, bro. I'm glad you told me. All right, here we go. Here we go. We got him this time. We got him. Got him. 4,000 damage. He's still living. We dead. All right, there we go. There we go. Cayman also says, I don't think frenzy is division. Its chief complaint is that we are divided and we shouldn't be. That's right. That's right. That's what Shibiri tells us, or Hayeta. But can you really trust anybody? Can you really trust them both? That's the question. I know that their creation story, the creation myth, sounds exactly like Ymir's, right? We're all come from the one grade or something like that. And that could be a common idea, but his is a big bang, and Shibiri says it's the one great that was divided because the greater will made a mistake, right? But that too, right there, is the contradiction as well, right? How can you have the one great and then have the greater will? That means it's already the lie has started from line 2 of their biblical text or whatever of their creation myth. Because you can't have the one great and then the greater will make a mistake. Because the greater will is own. It's is implied to be its own entity, right? And I don't want to get too deep into theology, but yeah, there's other things you could also say, how can a divine being like the greater will make a mistake? Lie number 2 in the second line. I mean, you really can't trust it. Cayman says, Mr. Streamer, you got to stop getting hit in order to parry them. I'm trying, bro. I mean, I don't know. I always get hit initially, and then I stand up, and then I parry them. That's the only way I know how. I don't know how to dodge that first attack. I'm just a pleb. Let's see. Meta says, hey, oh yeah. Excuse me. Meta says, yeah, the frenzy hates the separation and yearns to return to the single unified one great. Freeman says, Frenzy Flame, the only time she advises you not to do something, only the frenzy. Frenzy Flame, the only time she advises you not to do something, only the frenzy. Hold on, let me go back and read Freeman's other statement. Okay, let me see. Maybe Melina was created to stop the frenzy flame. She's the kindling maiden of Destined Death flame made from the Glowmite Queen's remains. Frenzy Flame, the only times she advises you not to do. So I'm not understanding it, Freeman. I do apologize. Meta says, yeah, but it's not them. It's also Ymir providing the same story. But there's creation myths that are all the same too. That's another thing you gotta take into account. Who influenced who when it comes to a creation myth, right? Did Ymir have contact with, Shibiri? Because if Shibiri is here, if you think that what's her name, Midra's wife or whatever was inhabited by Shibiri, here in the Shadowlands, what is it to say that Shibiri didn't have a contact or did have contact with Ymir and feed him the same lie? That's one thing you have to take into account too, I think. Calistral says he's beat the butts plenty of times. I have. Zanat says yeah, exactly, returning to one life, one consciousness, one spirit versus being separated, precipitated from solution alone. There are already so many philosophies, religions like this. Yes, exactly. But you know what else? Final Fantasy XIV's main story was about a group of beings that were trying to do the same thing, because in that story, you live in a shard that is a shard of the one great as well. And there's multiple realities. There's like 14 others or something like that. And these beings, every time they cause a catastrophe in one reality, it makes two realities merge together in a sense. So they're trying to put the world back together. And I think if you're trying to put things right, is it wrong? I don't know. When does it become wrong to try to fix the mistakes of the past? When it starts affecting the present? That's something to think about. Meta says, the greater will is just greater, little g, greater, not perfect. Perfection was the one great, a true God. The greater will is fallible, just like America. They're all flawed. And that was Emir's point, I think. That's an interesting interpretation. Interesting. But I would say that if you said that in the lands between, that you'd probably, end up like Midra, because the greater will is infallible in a sense. But in a context, fourth wall breaking, like we see things, I would agree with you. But is the information that we have bias or not? That's one thing. And I know it infuriates a lot of people that I am like very neutral on some things, but that's because there's not enough information to take a stand. In my opinion. But there's some things I'll take a standpoint because I think, why not? First try. I feel good about this one. Zanad says, I was just adding to what he was saying. Oh, I see. Sorry, Zanad. The Frenzy Flame is an interesting, not ideology and natural effect of the world that they created here. Because I don't know if everybody was here when the stream started, but the Frenzy Flame seems to infect reality itself, which I find fascinating. And it's kind of like a different version of Scarlet Rot, which in a sense, Scarlet Rot infects reality itself as well. And perhaps, maybe even Deathroot, but I'm not sure. Freeman says, the one great got lonely once he was 51% lonely. The greater will of him wanted to split. Dang. That's the way it goes, man. How can you say the greater will is infallible? Look at his dead floppy fingers everywhere. He totally bungled it. Okay, let me see if I can channel living in the world of Elden Ring, on Elden Earth, in the greater will, and I see things as the greater will being infallible. I see that the greater will is infallible because everything that is, was, and to be is because he wills it. Because he is the greater will. That's it. And Meta, in my opinion, I don't even think the greater will is real. I think, in my opinion, and this is my headcanon, and I may have said it before, I don't believe in the gods. I don't think the gods are real in Elden Ring, especially the greater will. I think they're just powerful magical beings. I don't think it's they're yeah, they're kind of like outer gods, like Lovecraftian outer gods, I think. And they're not really gods either. They're beings that live within the construct of reality. And I think the greater will, the blood star, the mother of truth, these are just constructs. These are just beings living within reality of itself. When I think of a god, it's somebody that lives outside of reality. Don't buy their wiggly propaganda. Hey, man, when the fingers twitch, I listen, bro. When they twitch, and trust me, man, I got 5 fingers. They be twitching. Anyways. And let me tell you something else too. Like, when I first read or heard that some people in the lore community believe that the greater will is dead, I really didn't like that idea at first, but now I believe that could be right. That the being that is the greater will perhaps is dead or never existed to begin with. Now that I believe, I think it's just a fabrication. Zanad says, it really depends on the definition of God. A god can be many things, its culture and nuance. Exactly. This is true because the America God that we see is more like a Greek god or a deity, a volcano god. You know what I'm saying? Not really powerful, not all powerful, needs somebody else to control the power or something like that. And then you have the outer gods, right? Which I think are more Lovecraftian. And then you have the demigods, which are, they're just powerful magic users, in my opinion. It's kind of, you know where I draw this conclusions from? Has anybody ever played this game called it's called Dragon Age Inquisition? I don't know if y'all have ever played it. It's pretty obscure. But in that game, if you played Inquisition, or if you played 1, 2, and Inquisition, it's one continuous story and it's great. And you learn that the elven gods weren't actually gods. Like the entire series, you're brought up to think that the elven gods were great and that Andraste was in communion with the god or whatever, with one of the gods or whatever. And then in Inquisition, spoilers, I think it's like a 12-year-old game. You discover that the gods were just powerful mages that trapped themselves in this veil and they couldn't get out or something like that. It's fascinating. And I thought that was a fascinating take on the idea of theology and how through the ages, theology or myths can become theology, but they can also be corrupted, right? With ideals and, fabrications and, and just not even be what it was in the very beginning. And I loved it. I love that idea. And so I think we see something like that here in Elden Ring, but it's so obscure that it's hard to see it. But I believe it. That's what I believe. Meta says, do you think the other outer gods are real, or are they manifestations of the natural cycle? No, I think they're real. They're, just beings, like creatures. I don't know, some Cthulhu type thing, or Agathoth or whatever. I forget his name in the Lovecraftian writings, something like that. You know what I mean? And I may be wrong, but that's what I see. Meta also says, Sacred Blade, yes, I fell in love with that ash and the other day saved my bacon. I'm telling you, Sacred Blade, when you got 80 faith, this thing melts a lot of things, especially other players. Kimmy says, not necessarily a fabrication, but a misunderstanding. If you see a flow as following a purpose, you could mistake a river for being a god or a religion if magic has a flow. True. Oh shit, there he is. Skulking, he is. Getting skulled. Yeah, he is. He is too. That too. I love this area also because it's probably when you first play this in the very beginning, right? When you first come through here, I was filled with this sense of dread and excitement, like kind of going into a house of horror, not horrors, but horror. What's that in Halloween? Horror house? No, not horror house. Scary house? What do you call them? What are those places called? I can't think of that. Horror house, right? Yeah, I think that's what they're called. That's the way I felt because it's so misty and you can't really see anything, but you can hear the monsters. It's amazing. I wish this whole section was like this. Everything, even more dense with fog. I would never leave this place. It's called a spooky station. Kimmin says, I think the outer gods are manifestations of human thought. That's why rot changed from a benevolent force to a corrupting one. That's why the blood fiends god changed due to their emotions. Ooh. You know what? I like that idea. I'm not sure if I agree with it completely, but I do like aspects of it that it reminds me of this movie. I don't know if you've seen it. It's called What Dreams May Come. And it's with Robin Williams. May he rest in peace. And he dies in the movie and he goes into the afterlife and he discovers in the afterlife that in the afterlife there's no God, no heaven or anything like that. But there is like this golden city, and what it is, this angel being tells him that it's a manifestation of everybody's collective idea of what heaven would be. And so I like that idea that you have, Cayman. But like I said, I may not agree with it 100%. maybe a nice 75%. I think it's a cool idea. Metafactual says, I do like the area, but I have a theory that every FromSoft game has a region that they just didn't finish. Like they worked right up to the deadline and just added 200 rats to go home. Oh, added 200 rats and go home. You know what? It's not outside the realm of possibility. And we know that there are times when they call it crunch time, right? That these things happen. And yes, that is a high possibility that that is what happened here. But I would like to think that that wasn't. I would like to think that Miyazaki has better time management. But it's completely possible. He is absolutely human. So I cannot disagree with you, Meta. Cayman says, and hell, it's just people who don't believe they deserve happiness. Oh yeah, okay. So he's talking about the what dreams may come, and hell is just people who don't believe they deserve happiness. What a tragic idea, bro. That's the way I believe in my faith. That if you die with, anger or in your heart, that you're just stuck. You gotta drop the anger. Otherwise, you might be stuck. But then again, I mean, I could be wrong. Freeman says, yeah, outer gods are just a mass of energy, and humans' precipitation of that power gives the power shape like rot or blood or others. Interesting. So Freeman, you believe with you're in the same boat with Cayman? Meta says we can probably do the list. Dark Souls 1 Lost Izalith. But can you really though? Because the environment tells us that it was supposed to be this way, right? Right? I mean, if you just take every barren place and say, "Oh, they didn't finish this," I mean, that's the speculation once again. Because, and just like on my side, I like to speculate towards the positive, I suppose, that they're doing it on purpose because it's supposed to represent that Frenzy Flame is also, not only is it lying to you, right, but it also leaves you empty. It leaves you hollow. There's no fulfillment in believing in Frenzy Flame. This is what this represents, the hollows of your heart when you're a pessimist or you believe in chaos theory, not chaos theory, but in chaos, or you're just filled with anger. You're just empty inside. You have nothing to offer. And this is what the theme of this area could represent. I could be wrong. Don't take my words as, gospel, but you could. Let's go find the other grace. Cayman also says, I think it's entirely possible that the entirety that wait, let me reread this. I think it's entirely possible that Miyazaki is just 100 rats in a skin outfit. You know what? I wouldn't put it past him. Oh shit! Does that thing fly up here? Let's find out. Oh, never mind. Oh, there's a rat too. Damn. I'm dead. I have perished. But here's another way to know that Frenzy Flame doesn't really kill you, right? It doesn't really destroy the spirit. Because lore-wise, we should not be able to resurrect. Ever. And resurrection is built into the lore. I'm just saying. Let's see what else. Where? Okay, good. Okay, let's see. Cayman says, no, it's Freeman. Freeman says, yeah, every power and energy was pure once, but it was tainted by the greed or ambitions of those who harnessed that power, by the hubris of men. Meta also says, could it be, oh, I'm sorry, could also be putrescence leaking into the system as things stagnate, turning things darker. I like that. Meta, you should like make lore videos, man. I'm telling you. Make lore videos. Freeman also says, we survived Deathroot too. Exactly. So what does that say? It says that the absolute death is not the absolute death that things are rumored to give is not real. Cayman says, Mr. Streamer, he tries to grab you. Don't get grabbed. You know what, Cayman? You're like so smart, man. You must have a PhD in gaming advice. I'm telling you, I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take your advice straight to my heart, man. I'm gonna take it like a bump to the arm. It's gonna get hotter than the junkie spoon right now. Watch this. I wish that there was a way I could like dodge that. But I'm too slow. Oh god, that other one's behind me, isn't it? Let me just kill one. Ah. Yeah, bitch. Man, Tilly gave that good advice. So did you, Cayman. Meta says, I think the survival of Deathroot, blah, blah, blah. Let me restart. Let me get a drink of this coffee. All right, here we go. Meta says, in their learned opinion, I think the survival of Deathroot and Resurrection is just main character syndrome, to be honest. Oh, no, don't say that. He continues. But if it made your console but if you made your console destroy your save game, that'd be fine with me too. What? You'd want to permadeath characters? That guy, look at this guy flex. What can I say? Sometimes I'm good. But Meta, a permadeath save on characters would be amazing. Would be amazing. I would 100% play permadeath characters. I would 100%. That sounds so fun. Elden Ring hardcore. You would have to play with me. Yeah. We'd stream it together. How many lives does it take to get to the end of Elden Ring? How many characters? An army of those who have died in death. That'd be amazing. Just think about it. I would have died already. I'd already be back in Limgrave, starting a new character. The Golden Inquisitor, number 999. Have you played the Hellseed randomizer? No, I haven't. I don't mod too much on Elden Ring. I use Seamless, and that's pretty much it. I know I've been saying it, and it's on the list of things to do. I want to get the free cam, but I just get busy sometimes, folks. I just do. Why am I trying to parry? Wait. There is still one more. There's still one more alive. Before we head that way, we got to go kill the last one. The last one, we can't leave the last one to live by themselves, knowing that their brethren are all dead except for it. We're going to go get it. It's a mercy killing, truly. I can't let it live in despair. The fastest speed run is like 30 hours. 30 hours. Like to like burn the earth to get to like the Elden bees. Does that include the DLC? All right, here he is. You know what? There's another thing I want to talk about too here. Something I just want to say. When it comes to sacred or the greater will or whatever is causing gold, Frenzy Flame, in my opinion, is stronger than that. The god of the Frenzy Flame is stronger than the greater will, in my opinion. And these creatures are a testament to that. Oh, God. I'm dead. It is. Hyman says, it was feared by every other demigod / god. Yep. That's true. That is true. I didn't look at it that way, but you're right. You're right. So I wonder what else is stronger than the greater will. Scarlet Rot, I think. Well, perhaps. Yeah, because even with our sacred blades, even with our hunter's magic that we use to kill those who live in death, it still has no effect. Unless we parry it, which is a gameplay mechanic, most likely. But, I mean, these creatures are technically just immortal. It doesn't matter what you throw at them. Unless you parry them, obviously. Alright, now we got it. Now let's go get the grace up here. We'll pick up the shameful runes. Cayman says, stronger / weaker is kind of meaningless, in my opinion. FF, you're using that as Frenzy Flame, not Final Fantasy. Frenzy Flame is present because despair is present and in the forefront of the minds of humans in the lands between. Interesting. I like that. But everything has an origin. Where did it come from? Right? I mean, there is Shibiri, there is Hayata, there are these creatures that live within the Frenzy Flame. So there must be some type of hierarchy. There must be some type of leadership in there. Shibiri is the Frenzy Flame or an agent of it, right? And if he's an agent of it, he must be getting instructions from somebody, someone, somewhere, right? Maybe. I mean, that's just me. Hyman says, that's why you can't use your horse. Forgot his name, Torrent, in this area because the Frenzy Flame is the only thing that can kill him. True. That is true. That's true. Freeman also says, do you think the pair is somehow connected to the Blue Warrior's guard counter to seal rot? You know what? I didn't think about that, but it's quite possible because the Frenzy Flame can affect reality itself like the rot can. So maybe there is, because of that connection, because they both do that, they may have both the same weakness, right? Or, the same Achilles heel, perhaps. Metafactual says, Meta says, their physical bodies exist, but their souls are replaced with the frenzy. Interesting. Yes, I think you might be right with that one. All right, let's get the Midra's Mance. Midra. The body is just a vessel, a vision's vessel, just like America is just a vessel. America's not really alive either, technically, if you think about it, right? When she became a god, she died. The greater will, the Elden beast, scooped out her spirit, her soul, and inhabited it, and used her body to interact with the world. But in a limited form, I suppose, because otherwise, why do you need the Elden Lord? Because the Elden Lord is the one that focuses the power, right? You make the world as you wish when you're the Elden Lord. You have the control of the vessel. So you like have you're the driver of the car. America is the car, and the Elden Beast is the gasoline. Right? The car can't drive itself. The gasoline can't drive the car. It needs a driver. That's the Elden Lord. Unless the beast is America, says Cayman. That's an interesting interpretation if you could expand on it, but I don't think there's anything that implies that they are... that the Elden Beast is America. All right, we don't need this anymore. Get rid of that. What are we going to use? What? You know what? Let's use this. I normally don't use this. You know what? Let's not use that. Let's use this. Nobody ever uses. I've never seen anybody use this stupid weapon. Hyman says, the America wanted the tarnish. Sorry. America wanted the tarnish to overthrow the current order and replace it with a better and new order. So they say. But most of that information that you get about that comes from Gideon, and you can't trust Gideon. Wow, that's it? No combo? Alright, I don't like that. Now I see why nobody uses it. Alright. Let's use this one. Is this the one that comes out of the ground? Yes. And it also comes from the two fingers, and you can't trust them either. Who can you trust in the lands between? Smithing Master Hugh. I think that's pretty much it. That's all I would trust. Whoa, why is that doing so little damage? Do I not have... Oh, God. Oh, man, like the Matrix dodged that. Oh, the Hornsent spell had the insignia on it. There it is, number 10. All right, let's try again. Boom, there we go. Group together. Group together. Does it only attack one? Group together. Nope. Alright. These poor Inquisitors. May they rest in peace. What build am I running as Hyman? I am running a Faith Dex build. Max level 200. And that's pretty much it. Meta says the Elden Beast has the same wound as Marika. I mean, so does what's her face? Matir. Do you think they're the same? The thing is, right, Meta. The thing is that the Elden Beast lives inside Marika's body. Right? He scooped out her soul, destroyed it, and now the body, the soul that inhabits, the spirit that inhabits the body of Marika is the Elden Beast. So anything you do to Marika, you do to the Elden Beast. Is that more clear? Cayman says, A, they have the same injury. Okay, yeah, I addressed that one. B, Marika is a blacksmith, and the EB makes Radagon into a blade. Where does it say that Marika is a blacksmith? Because of her hammer? I have a hammer. I'm not a blacksmith. I mean, it says it's a hammer from her lands, right? Just because she has a hammer doesn't make her anything. She just has a hammer. In my opinion. I mean, she could be a blacksmith if you want her to be. Let's see. C, he says, a bunch of the stuff we have said about the Elden Beast are assumptions based on very limited text. True. That's true. Kim and also examine your assumptions about the Elden Beast. Which assumptions? I do think Matir is literally parallel for Marika. Maybe. Perhaps. I don't know. I don't think there's a parallel there. Because Matir is already thrown away. You know. She comes to the world. She's broken. She gives birth to children. Marika gives birth. But then if giving birth makes her a parallel, then every woman is giving birth to is a parallel to Marika and to Matir. I think that's a weak argument, in my opinion. Oh, my argument probably is too. Meta says, exactly. So how long has he been parading around in her body, right? Yeah, I think you just proved it. They're the one and the same. Who, me? Yeah, no, yeah. The real Marika is dead. The Marika that we see as the god is the Elden Beast. So I think there's, maybe I wasn't being clear about that, but, or maybe I wasn't being clear, but real Marika is dead. America possessed by the Elden Beast they are the same. She be smithing in the OP. In the OP? Opening? Come on, Kevin. Anybody can use a hammer to break something. That doesn't make you a smith. Radigan uses the hammer. Does that make him a smith? No, he was a seamstress. Or whatever. That's a weak argument, I think, yeah. I mean, I use a hammer at work. I'm not a carpenter or a hammersmith or whatever. You know what I mean? I use a sledgehammer too. I also use a jackhammer sometimes. Hammers are made for destruction and for putting things together and melding things, or if you're a smith, yeah. But she's using it as a form of destruction. We don't see anything else that implies that she created something with that hammer. She may have inherited that hammer from someone, from her father, from a friend, a sister, so many other things that she could have gotten that hammer, but you chose she's a blacksmith. I mean, your headcanon is your headcanon. I don't want to, ruin it. I like you. So there you go. Meta says, we get so invested in personalities, but America is just a facade for the Elden Beast. It's not really a question. Elden Beast is the Elden Ring. Elden Ring is America. True. But but when you're making that statement, I believe we have to make a preamble or preface whatever, that statement saying that when America becomes a god, so people don't think that America has always been the Elden Beast, but she was always possessed by the Elden Beast. See, exactly. I don't think she was. Jaime says, is America and Radagon and the Elden Beast that are the same person? I think the game really wants you to believe that Radagon and America are the same person, that they share the same body, but I don't think they do. There's too much that says different. And just because one line of text says America or Radagon is America does not imply or indicate that it's also in reverse, that also America is Radagon, right? So Radagon is America does not equal America is Radagon. I have a video on it. Meta also says when she was at her height before the shattering, she was still possessed by the Elden Ring. Right. But I'm talking about when she's like a little girl, when she's a shaman, stuff like that. But when she's at the divine gates and she, possesses or gets the Elden Ring in her possession, that's when the Elden Beast scooped out America's soul, destroyed it or threw it into the ether, and he inhabited her body from that point on, at that moment, in my opinion. Cayman says, we think that America is a vessel for the Elden Ring bunch of souls. Wait. We think that America is a vessel for the Elden Ring bunch of souls. What is Elden Beast? We only know that it is what is inside America. I don't think America is a vessel for the souls. I think the souls are being fed to the Erd tree, and the Elden Beast is its own agent, and whatever it is, its own creation, its own being that has a job to do, and that is to feed the Erd tree or rule the lands or whatever. Meta says it's a consciousness composed of golden energy that came from space. That's a good answer. It came from space. That's the good answer. It's an alien. Meta says, but prior to being a god, America wasn't relevant, just a Newman shaman. Exactly. Right. So she was just a Newman, She got a hold of the Elden Ring. There goes her soul. The Elden Ring takes her over. Now she's a god or a powerful being. Cayman says, for smithing, Hugh, the main smith in the game, learned spirit arts from her. I think the idea that she was a smith hammer and she has a smith hammer and the anvil in her sanctum, a student who is a blacksmith, or we see her bring anvil and hammer together until she tells me she be smithing, bro. Okay. I mean, if that's the way you see it. I mean, is it really an anvil though? I mean, it's just a piece of wood. But hey, if that's the way you see it, that's the way you see it. I'm not. I mean, it is what it is, right? Pharaoh says, "Welcome back, your pharaohs." In an echo, Marika calls Radagon her other self. That's true. This is true. But what does other self could also imply somebody who can transform into her other self. To instantly think that it means the inner self, because what is there? There's inner order and outer order, and then there's totality, right? Inner order is what Marika had. Outer order is what Radagon had, because he was an outer being. And I don't mean like a god or whatever. He was a being that craved to become Marika. So he, like Wilder in Night Rain, merged with a larval tear and was becoming Marika. Remember what the Ash of War says, the Lost Ash of War. The copy or whatever, the mimic becomes the genuine article eventually, right? And so he was able to go back and forward. Maybe he had more than one larval tear. I don't know. But we see that the larval tears actually change their form in Night Rain. And this is what we see Radagon doing. He's able to change his form. Now, you could believe like Jack maybe. I think Jack believes that Radagon, or one of the Radagons, is a mimic, right? And that's quite possible. That's a good idea. And I would lean more in that direction, that Radagon perhaps merged with a mimic, merged with a larval tear, and now is able to go back and forth, transition between being Marika in public and being Radagon. And then Marika, who is inside the Erd Tree and not able to leave, is, has no control for herself, because she is technically the Elden Beast, technically bound by the Elden Beast, or already crucified, perhaps, right? Who knows? Zanad said, do you think the Echoes of Marika are the Elden Beast? I think the Echoes of Marika are probably the Echoes, right? But I think a lot of them are actually Radagon. Not a lot of them. One for certain I know is Radagon posing as Marika as she speaks. And the others could be Marika. Not sure it would make sense, but because the Elden Beast isn't going to punish herself. Well, this is true. And it's a critical flaw in my theory, right? But is it Marika? Is it the Elden Beast that crucified themselves? Because could it be Malekith that crucified them? Because the red spear that we see there is very red and reminiscent of destined death, right? And we don't know the full extent of what Malekith could do, right? In his prime, when he was known as the death of the demigods, we don't know what he could do or how powerful he was. And he may have been able to seal Radagon, who is posing as Marika, into the Erd Tree that we see. Perhaps. Maybe. Because we know that the real Marika is already dead. That body, that form, after we fight the Elden Beast, the form is revealed that, Marika's already headless. She's already been beheaded. She's already dead. She's already crumbled to nothing but basically a torso. while false Radigan is crucified by Malekith, perhaps, or somebody who could defeat him, but not kill him, but only lock him away. And perhaps, I only say Malekith because he would, in my opinion, he would be strong enough. Cayman says, but America is also an alien. True statement. Cayman says, also continues, mine other self doesn't normally mean mimic. It means husband. Well, they are married, so you're right. You're right. Meta says, Radigan is absolutely a mimic in a least one sense. I agree with you. Cayman says, Radigan, my goat. I don't think Radigan did anything wrong. That's a lie. Radigan was a complex character, very complex. I think he's probably within the top 5 complex, well-written characters of gaming history, because 99.9% of the community of the world would see Radigan as the mustache twirling villain of the game. But in reality, he did what he had to do to save his children. I mean, it is what it is, right? Cayman says he knows because he thinks women don't say companion. Not Joy Toy, welcome back, Joy Toy. How's it been? Good to see you. Good to see you. Your Pharaoh says deep down, Malekith is just a puppy who wants to cuddle with his owner again. Oh, bro, that got me in my heart, and my heart don't beat. Damn, bro. Damn. This is why I can't get attached to animals or to people. It makes my heart beat. It scares me. Cayman says, I don't know. I like the theory that Malekith stabbed America, but I am starting to think it might be Mesmer's doing. That doesn't make any sense. Because Mesmer's already locked away. Right? If Mesmer could get out, he would have gotten out. He would have crushed the world. Because look at this. Look at this. Look at it this way. Mesmer doesn't become disillusioned with his mother until we defeat him. So up until that point, he was 100% in his mother's corner. And if he would have seen anybody mistreating his mother, he would have killed everybody involved. He would have killed that person and that person's whole family and their friends and the friends of the friends. Mesmer was an OG. He was the ride or die guy, you know. Oh, my game. Oh. My game was wanting to crash. Zanod says, the scene when we defeat Radigan is strange. America comes down from her rune cross, turns into Radigan. Then when he dies, he gets pulled into the black water, reemerges as a sword. That's true. Then we defeat the Elden Beast. America's crumbled statue is just kneeling there as if the whole thing were an illusion. How did she get there? Because she was there the entire time. We just couldn't see her. Because the illusion was masking her. Just like the realm of shadow. Just like the Aenir limb. Just like all the other things that we can't see until we unlock them, right? It's that veil that's concealing the true nature of what it is. So America is there, dead, but separated in reality because of the veil or whatever. And the real, or Radigan as America is crucified up there. Well, and in a sense, you could also say that Radigan is not only, that's not only Radigan that can transform, shapeshift into America, but Radigan is already dead himself. Because, like the Lost Ash of War says, the copy or the mimic becomes the genuine article. Radigan took upon himself the Elden Ring, thus becoming a god himself. But when the Elden beast possessed Radigan, even Radigan's spirit was scooped out and thrown into the ether. And so the Elden beast is inhabiting Radigan. This is why Radigan doesn't speak. He doesn't acknowledge anything. He just attacks. Because the Elden beast can't speak to us. Doesn't know our language, doesn't understand our ways or anything like that, I guess you could say. There's a language barrier. What I'm trying to say. Radigan would say something. He would be like, "Oh, tarnished, thou hast fought hard." He doesn't do what Godfrey does. He just jumps down and attacks, and he's already dead. It's just the Elden beast wearing a Radigan skin, a Radigan America skin. And so, in the end, the prophecy of the Lost Ash of War was fulfilled. Radigan got what he wanted. Did he know? Did he know what was going to happen to him? The extent of making a deal with the devil? I don't think he did. But in the end, that's what happens when you make the deal with the devil. Metafactual says, an Edgar suit, 100% Men in Black. Yes, sir, you've understood it. Zanad, you're smart as fuck, dude. You must have an IQ of 180. God damn, this guy's smart as fuck. An Edgar suit. Amen. Meta says, he's 100% right. America's half of the body is actually there as black smoky shadow during the boss fight. She sealed away invisible. True. Meta, IQ of 180. You got it. Y'all are, boom. I'm telling you. Y'all are understanding. What time? 8:30. 8:30 in the PM. All right. Great movie. Men in Black, number 1 was a great movie. Number 2 wasn't so good, but still good. Number 3 was all right, trash. All right, so let us look at these bodies here, because before Taluki left, she said that these bodies look like they were growing. What'd she say? Garlic, like garlic. That they weren't spines. They weren't the arcs of the Hornsent arc, for the Inquisition. These things. Why is my... Oh, hold on. I gotta switch this. Now that the button's working. You know what I mean? The arcs. It's not these. Right? Real quick, I think these golden arcs from the Hornsent were absconded. No, not absconded. What's the word? They were copied by the Golden Order to make this. To make golden blades. Anyway. So she said she thinks they're a plant. Okay. A plant grows, and we know that plants glow in Elden Ring. Especially Erd trees. Especially healthy Erd trees. Because we see them with the golden bark. Let's change the color of our light source here. And see what we can. And if Meta would stream one day or make a video, I feel like they could really, really do something with the camera. here and see what's up. That looks like a little face, like a little snake. Do y'all see that? Like a little snake face? No. Well, right there, it looks like an eyeball with a little. Jesus. Anyways, yeah, garlic scapes. Somehow that seems like a Tuliki theory. Yeah, garlic. Man. Okay. Oh, look. Do they glow brighter with death rune? No. Or. Okay, so let's count them up. One, two. Oh, wait. They're paired up, by the way. Are they paired up? These two are closed. A gap. Oh, shit. A couple together. This guy was single. Single. Oh, man. Yep. These four were together, married. He turned away so he didn't have to see, or she turned away, she didn't have to see him get beheaded or her beheaded. Damn. Let's see. I don't know. No, not me. I'd have to look up this garlic thing. Let me look up this garlic thing real quick. What does garlic look like? Garlic. I don't know about that. Garlic scapes? Garlic. Oh, stocks. Maybe. I don't know. Meta says, maybe it's to stop the bodies from sprouting giant eyeballs and heads. Holy shit, I never thought about that. Wow, that's really profound. That's a good idea. Because let's see. What does this say? Let's see. What is this guy wearing? A talisman. Gift your madness to our Lord. Bless our brethren with graves. Take care that they fully ripen. Talisman depicting the exaltation of a aging untouchable whose head resembles a sprig of ripe grapes. Wait, if the grapes that we get from these guys, from the aging untouchables, have been touched by the three fingers, and we see the three fingers in Lindell, could it be that there's multiple three fingers, or was this death here? What is this? What would you call this? This execution, was this sanctioned by America? Is this where they captured the three fingers? I think it's to inflict as much pain as possible. Oh, sure. I like that. That's what I think too. I thought at first, but now we don't know if those aging untouchables grew their heads from the dead bodies, which I think is fascinating and horrible at the same time. They get enough eyes to be big ball of eyes. Freeman thinks that the three fingers used to hang out here. I think so too. I'm glad me and him are are on the same wavelength. I think this is where they captured the three fingers and put it into the capital. Oh, yeah. Blah. I'm over here lost in thought. Sorry. Meta says they did it right with Midra. My God, that looks painful. It does. And you know what? I'm going to agree with Meta that they put whatever here, these spikes, plant. If it was a plant, I would say if it was a plant and it was growing off a dead body, plants love decomposition, right? Of a body. It's got a lot of nutrients, a lot of energy. It would have sprouted something besides just a stalk. I agree with Meta that this execution, the way it's done, is to prevent the head from regrowing, or whatever. I mean, that's a fascinating idea. I do like it. Is it to inflict pain as well? Yes, of course. But how much pain can a body have after you cut off its head, right? So, is it a warning? I would say yes. I would say it's more of a warning. A warning and a prevention measure. Meta says, why would they take something that dangerous and put it directly under the... Oh, never mind. That's exactly what they always do. Yeah. Kamen says, maybe not. They might have had heads for a while and don't anymore. But dying isn't necessarily the end in the lands between. Well, Kamen, it depends. Dying is dying up to a certain point. All of this death here could have been done before the Rune of Death was removed from the Elden Ring. Remember, up till then, no one was immortal.
Come no closer. No closer, I say. The madness wells.
The madness wells. Welcome back. Not Godwin, welcome back. Let's see. Kamen says, and the eyes that make up the aging untouchables probably came from somewhere else. Yeah. They could be not only animal eyes, but people eyes. It could be a lot of people's eyes. A lot of things. Zanod says, yeah, this place makes me so uncomfortable. Creepy. It's all atmosphere here. I love it. They did. And it's just fascinating. With all these burnt books and everything, it's like, what knowledge was lost? You know, it's kind of like the burning of the library of... hold on. It's like the burning of the library of Alexandria. The library. Um, yeah, all the lost knowledge here, and I like Midra's Manse because it shows us that Midra was technologically more advanced than his contemporaries because he had printed pages, bound books, stickers, and things like that. So he must have been, in contact with outside civilizations, meaning other lands outside the lands between. And this all took place before, all of this took place before the Elden Ring, perhaps before Matir, before the Golden Order, before the Erdtree, maybe before. It took place before the what am I trying to say? Before the Two Fingers became rampant. Now, if the Three Fingers were here, yes, right? But that would be a later event in the history of the Manse. In the history of the Manse, it began before Matir, before the Fingers usurped ideas in this land, in this world. And you can tell simply by the lamps, by the constructs here. What is missing in this lamp next to this ghost? Does anybody know? Larry David from Curb Your... I've never seen them. I don't watch TV. Sorry, bro. All right. What you're missing is the worm/snake. Well, the worm. You're missing the worm influence of this place. So this place is older than that. Everywhere else where you, like Shadow Keep, Castle Innis, lamp structures have the worms built into them, right? Because that is influence from Matir and the Two Fingers and everything else, the Greater Will. From that ideology, this place started without it. It's fascinating. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, let me show you. Let me see. Where is an... Y'all, you know what? Where's an easy place to go? Look. Yeah, here. So perhaps before even the Erdtree, right? Let's go upstairs. The lamppost. Now you see them. The worms. See? Once the Fingers, the Greater Will, the Elden Ring became prominent, it started to show up in their everything. And I think those right there are the Fingers. Larval forms of the Fingers. And we see them when you hit Matir, or she births more finger creepers. You see these worms come out of her, by the way. Have a video on it. So Midra's Manse started before that. Oh shit, did I get that? Yes. Awesome. Worms. Yep. It's the worm theory. Check it out. It's really good. It'll change the way you look at the game. You won't ever look at the game the same again. You won't believe in gods. You won't believe in magic. It's all biological stuff. I'm going to keep this. I'm not going to go any further because only 10 minutes left. I'm going to save this area for tomorrow. Or maybe the next night. We'll see. Exactly. Exactly, Godwin. Right. You're Pharaohs. That's what I said, that the fingers and stuff, right, are a later event in the history of the Mans. That's what I said. I said that like 5 minutes ago. But if you weren't here, yeah. So, let's turn off the HUD. Look at that bird right there in the tree. 2 birds. What's interesting to me here also is that with this picture, with this painting, there's clearly no road to this place. There's not like a path. There was a pond or some type of brook, a stream. Let's see what else. There's also no people either. I don't see anybody. Why would they not put people? Or just a couple, or Midra, or anybody. It's just like, bah. But they put birds. Unless those birds represent Radigan America. Bum, bum, bum. And those 4 trees back there, see them? 1, 2, 3, 4. Represent a 4-headed dragon that we all know so well. I'm joking. No problem, your Pharaohs. Let's see. Kim says, that's what I'm hoping for the Zelda movie. Hours watching one guy walk around. Right? Godwin says, this place is the Shining and Dr. Sleep. I don't know who Dr. Sleep is. Dragons, says Meta. Yep. What if? What if there was a hidden image? A hidden image behind this painting. I don't mean like a wall, like a negative image. If you could take a picture of this and then invert the colors or whatever into a negative form, could it reveal something? Could it tell us something that we don't see? You know, like on American Money, they have the holographic or the faint image of the presidents or something like that. You really have to look for it. When we look at it like that, that looks different. It looks like what's that dragon in Night Rain? The one with the split mouth at the very top. Looks like his mouth is split open. Flow Boy TV. The The small circle windows in the middle of the painting, is that a matching symbol in game? Oh, you know what? Reminds me of something I've seen. Interesting. Let's look. Oh, so it kind of looks like the Giza's wheel, the wheel off the Virgin Abductors, I would say. Welcome though. Cayman says, "I turn into night rain." It turned into night rain. Oh, I see what you mean. It's a spiral sun. It could be. Adele. Adele. Thank you, Godwin. Welcome, Venture. Yeah. Let's look at it from another light. Another light source. Let's look at it with this one. And this one. I swear there's something about this painting, besides it being an illusionary wall. There's something in this painting that we're missing. I feel it in my bones. Oh shit! You know who that could be? That could be what's it? Placidusax. His two finger heads, how they twist and both are pointing up to the sky. And you know he's like in a ball, right? So if we look at the image, the golden bright area is ball shaped, bulbed with two fingers going up. Could there be a connection? Who knows? Could be. Yeah, and look, if you look at the top of the roof, so if you look at his two heads going up, and then the golden smaller arches next to it could represent his wings. Yeah. It's sunny. The chair has a hawk on it, right? Maybe it represents a dragon / storm lord phoenix. Pharaohs, I think that is a fair assumption. Because it is connected to the hawk lord or whatever. And we find these exact same chairs in Round Table Hold. Which is in Stormvale. Or, well, parts of it. I swear I stared at this painting for like 20 minutes. Venture can see it. Thank you, Venture. You're a person of vision. And it gets more clear if you get further back. Doesn't make any sense. What is that? Is that just from... Okay. All right. That's just dust particles. All right. All right. Well, it's 9 o'clock, basically. It's, yeah. Oh, yeah. I was freaking out there for a minute, Cayman. I'm glad you noticed. Everybody, so this has been Tuesday Night Lore with me, the Golden Inquisitor. If you like lore and you like Elden Ring, consider joining the Discord. Continue all your conversations there, even with me. I'm on there every day. If you like more Elden Ring content, make sure you follow my friends and fellow Inquisitors and friends of the Inquisition are down there in the show description. Each one of them are amazing content creators. And you've seen some of them here in chat. Not Godwin, Metafactual, and let's see, some future ones I believe too. Boss Saucer, you see him. He has his own channel as well. Yeah, check them out. They're amazing people. Tomorrow, I think I might start back with the open mic night which is something we do on Discord. I start to stream, and if you have something to say or you want to call into the stream, you just get into the voice channel in the Discord, and you and I can have a discussion for a few minutes, or you can just tell me your theory, and then, go back into the world where you came from and live a beautiful life. So that's open to everybody. And that's it. That's it for the night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching, and people in the future, thank you for watching, and I appreciate it. So, love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all be safe.